And welcome back to the stream. I hope you have managed to grab a drink, a snack, or whatever else to your fancy. So, 2 hours have passed. The party are on their way back across to the Eyecatcher on the Jolly Boat, as they're called. And I think, Cyric, would you have done anything particular that you want to talk about whilst passing that time, or were you just quite happy to hang out in the stateroom whilst you were waiting?
No, I think Cyric is quite happy with everything.
Well, obviously he said that he would deal with your stuff before the rest of the party came. So I think maybe about half an hour before you think the party's due back, one of his crew come up to you and say, the captain is relaxing and wonders if you would wish to join him so you can finalise the deal that you discussed. If you would just follow me. And his... Where he took you before was the upper aft deck. He had a big cabin at the back. And rather surprisingly, he takes you down until you are in the lower hold of the boat. And you go through various rooms, holds, other rooms there. You see things that actually... Roll a history check for me, Cyric, because you're getting an insight into other things in this boat that the others may or may not.
That's an 18.
Okay. Let's see what's down here.
It's raining men.
No.
Oh. Just about the light.
Closets and things. But I think the biggest thing is when you go down into the hold, there is a huge training area. And this there's ropes strung through it that mimic webs. There are mannequins and there are targets and stuff like that. And it's quite a large bit of what would normally be a hold in a merchant ship. And it just seems to be for him to exercise his skills in sparring and swordsmanship and general acrobatics and athletics and all these sorts of things. And at the back, there is a door which is closed with an exterior hook latch, and you can just see small amount of steam coming out of the bottom of it. And the person that's talking to you there sort of passes you a towel and a robe. Says, I think the captain thought that you may enjoy the heat. And this, by the way, I'm not taking the piss out of the Swedes in the group. This is a genuine thing in the book, that you have just been cordially invited to Jarlaxle's magical sauna.
Awesome. Yes.
But first, you have to put it together.
You fucking love me some sauna.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Jesus Christ.
So happy.
It's in the book.
Yeah.
This boat has a sauna.
Uh-huh.
I think that Cyric has never experienced an actual sauna, but he does feel the...
You like the heat, the humidity, yeah.
Yeah, so you can start to feel that it's much warmer behind this wooden wall. And there's wee benches on either side. And the ship, the crewmate just says, if you wish to pile your gear there, I will make sure nobody removes them or touches them. Everything will be safe.
So he might even encourage Cyric to shed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he basically says, I think he'll be uncomfortable going in there clothed.
Don't they have lockers?
Yes.
That's what they have in the bathhouse.
Yeah, but this isn't a bathhouse. This is Jarlaxle's private. Nobody.
Nah, that's true.
nobody
Is he already in there?
invites. Yes. But you don't know that yet.
Yes, but what do I do? Should I just get down?
If you wish to preserve your modesty, you can tie the towel round your waist. But if you do not have any compulsions, then just go in naked. That's how most people go. But I shall be honest with you, you are less buxom than most people that he invites into his sauna.
For courteous sake, take the towel.
That is fine. And you disrobe with the towel, and he sort of turns his back to give you a bit of privacy, and you go in.
Oh, Cyric's not a shy person, but
Oh, I know, but they don't know that because they don't know
yeah,
you. They're not doing so. It's just whether it's more courtesy rather than anything.
I see. Absolutely.
It's a little bit, and I think you would get that. It's a little bit of respect. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not anything because it's not polite to stare, whether you're bothered by being stared at or not. And you go in, and there's a fairly sizable room. The sauna actually. Cloud steam billowing, so it's difficult to see to begin with. But it is the blower prow of the boat has been put into this sauna. You cannot see the source of the steam, so you assume it's magical. It is many degrees more than the rest of the boat and the outside temperature. It's very close to the temperature that you're used to when you were growing up. And as you said, the humidity spikes. That's something that you have not experienced since you left your homeland, is this high humidity along with the high heat. Because the summer here can be very hot sometimes, but it's a very dry heat in comparison to what you were used to. And eventually Jaraxel, you can see him with the sort of mist sort of swirls, and he's just sat lying back. He's obviously naked, but the same as what you were saying is he's got a towel sort of over his midriff, so he's not sort of exposing himself or anything like that. But you can see his eyes are closed, but you can tell by the way he sort of just slightly tenses, he's aware of you, and he just sort of opens one eye and goes, "I thought a man such as yourself would appreciate a little bit of the heat that this provides.
And I think
an indulgence."
And I think that as soon as Cyric walks into the sauna, he's just, waving his, just motioning in the air.
He starts raving.
Yeah. No, I think it's just to feel the...
Yeah. And I think Gerlaxo just says, it should be about half an hour until your companions return. So if we have 20 minutes here, and then we can go and sign our contract just between ourselves. But if you have any other questions of me, now is the time whilst we have privacy.
Actually, it's like to keep...
Oh, we bit up again. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, sorry. No, it's fine. You've shown great hospitality, so I won't bother you with any further questions. It's nice to be in a place like this once again.
Then, if you would indulge me further then, if you don't mind, whilst we're relaxing, why don't you tell me a story about how you managed to find your way all the way to these cold northern lands and meet with such a curious group of people? I had heard told that there was a very large, well, maybe not large, but there was a tattooed barbarian who travelled with you. I've yet to understand where he has disappeared to. I have been keeping my eye on you, as I do most of the adventuring bands in this region. you never know when they're going to either be a problem or opportunity to work together will present itself.
Well, I think it takes a few seconds for Cyric to actually turn up with anything to say. But mostly he just responds with, well, there happenstance, mostly how we ended up here. I got a calling for a job one, and I was just searching about. Thought that I haven't found anything for a long time, so I took it. So I could see where it would lead me. And I ended up in the north. It's not very pleasant up here, and I'm not too fond of your big cities.
I'll be honest with you, other than the opportunities they provide, I'm not very fond of them myself. That's what I prefer my boat and do business like this. I would be curious, though, as a fellow outsider, outcast for different reasons, from peoples who are usually, how would we say, maybe reviled, probably, by the humans and dwarves and the elves. How have you found your travels from so far south to the north? I know when I first came to the surface, I suffered vile abuse and attacks that were unprovoked and unmerited.
Well, I mostly stayed out of big areas, so I didn't encounter much of, well, abuse. I did not want to get together with these people anyway, most of them, so I didn't find anything strange. To be honest, I think I'm the one that keeps myself most away from them than they from me.
Probably a good thing, I suppose.
Yes.
I understand. I always just like to know a bit more about someone I'm doing business with. And then, unless you have anything else to say, I think just actually a comfortable silence will sort of fall.
I think that's what Cyric has been looking for during this, well, brief conversation that we've had. So.
He's just like in his mind going, shut the fuck up.
I'm having a moment here, so...
Trying to shed here, shut up.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get a good sort of 50, as I say, 20 minutes or so in total, including the time that he's talking to you. Maybe about half of that completely undisturbed. Just relaxing, letting the heat soak deep into your flesh and your bones in a way that you've now, I mean, how many years is it? Or is it a couple of years since you've last felt?
About 3 now.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's amazing for you. And then he stands up and goes, I'm afraid our time is at an end just now, but if you're ever lucky, it may be something that I should be able to share again with you. And he just walks out and he sort of starts getting dressed as well. And the shipmate comes up and he has a scroll ready. And there's a wee sort of desk there, and he just leans on it, and it's a very simple contract, just to say that I will provide you with the map with these locations, and you will owe me a favour. And you read it over, and there's no, it's a very simple thing. There's no like equivalent of Latin or anything like that, sort of hiding phrases or anything like that. It is. But he takes a very, again, fantouche purple feathered quill and signs it and gestures for you to do the same in the place marked for you.
So Cyric picks up the feather and holds it to the paper. And while he is, signing it, he's just asking Jarlaxle, so what is the deal with all this color and, well, fine-looking things, I suppose? Why do you enjoy it so much?
That's a difficult question to answer. It's just what I like. I like to show people that I can afford fine things. If you look, all these things are rare and exotic or have expensive items to create them or have been done by very high-priced artisans. It's all about showing my wealth and my value. Added comfort as well. Like the sauna. It is not a cheap thing, but I think you can understand the benefits of such like that. You may not see the benefit in all that I have, but they benefit me in similar ways for myself.
Well, I suppose. Very well. It is signed.
And what I should have said is there's actually 2 copies because you get one each. And then he dodds a very, again, thick purple wax onto them and takes his ring and puts his seal into both of them and hands you one of them. Just so it's all above board.
So,
I do wonder what I will get you to do in the end, but I think it shall come in handy at some point.
well, just tell me when you need something, and I'll be here to do it for you.
Oh, I will. And
He's not. Cyric's not questioning him a bit about whatever it might be.
No, absolutely.
Just the fact that something, an opportunity like this has presented itself to him.
Yeah, and I think he's just exploited that. He doesn't know what it's going to be either. It's just when something presents itself. And he also gives you the map. Now, because I didn't quite know that was going to happen, I've not prepared anything at the moment, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to put these spots. We're just going to have to roll with that at the moment. But
Yes.
if you put in your inventory map with, I think I said 5 specific locations. And what I will say as well, again, I'm not sure what it'll be at the moment, but we'll say that he will have detailed what may or may not be living in each cave to that will need removed to make it suitable for your needs.
Oh, yeah.
Because he did say that there was something. There was because they were. It was basically it was good real estate. Then they are all currently moved, so you'll have to evict the current tenants in all cases.
Yeah.
And with that, you go back up to the stateroom where you have been hanging out, and a large feasting table has been put out, sort of silver service, beautiful white linen, silver cutlery, crystal glasses, red wine and white wine available, and just as the rest of the party is ushered in, and Jarlaxle, welcome back, and gestures, please take a seat. So does anyone... You're muted, Terra.
Mara takes a seat.
Yeah, that's fine. Does anyone speak to Cyric, or does that just go by the by?
Mara says hello to Cyric and to Jarlaxle. Is it just those 2 that were in the chambers waiting for us?
There's like a couple of flunkies just sort of standing at the back, and the one that's shown you in, but he's not introduced you to anyone else that he feels of as any substance.
Ah.
Alton ghosts the shit out of him.
He what?
Ghosts the shit out of him. Yeah, so I just walk past him.
Yeah. Scale immediately just goes to a chair and grabs the alcohol and starts drinking. I mean,
Yeah,
it's free
fine.
alcohol. Not gonna say no to
absolutely.
Oh, hello, Mara. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Did things go well with your negotiations?
Oh, yes. Very well.
Insight. No, No, actually, I would roll insight on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that would be something that Mara would do in character. Actually,
let's see.
It's
25.
almost a case of how dare you negotiate without my help, sort of.
Yeah.
So,
tell me how you failed. 25.
Say for a minute.
Yeah. Just scream. He'll hear it.
What I mean is, I can't answer that. Is what I mean.
Yeah. You can tell.
Emeros, he rolled 25 of insight, wondering about the negotiations. So, is Cyric this time? Does he look satisfied, happy, sad, annoyed? You know, what sort of emotions are going through him?
I think he's not hiding anything. It's they went fine, but I assume that Mara has this questioning glare of gaze at him.
Oh yeah, I think with that level, I think so.
So I think he just glares back in the same way, like, yeah, it went.
Okay. Oh well.
I too have a high charisma.
Yeah.
Cyric gets an acorn in the head.
Alton, how many do you have?
What was that for, Alton?
And sort of a...
Cyric leans over to Mara and did something happen while I was gone?
Mara will look at Alton. I don't know. Maybe you should go talk to him.
Well, he looks a bit angry.
Oh.
Nah, I'll leave him to his own. I'll talk to him.
Yeah. Besides, we're here to eat and have fun.
Yes, they have a very nice place here.
Yeah.
I like this area much better than your cities.
You like the boat more than the city?
Oh, yes.
Why?
Well, at least this one.
Oh.
No, it is a nice place.
Yeah. And Mara will lean into Cyric. It's better than Scale Ship, right?
Whoa! Right, no, roll a perception check, see if you hear that still.
Housewives of Faerun.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
How about we use my passive perception of 18?
Yeah, no, that makes more sense, yeah. You overhear the slight of the storm petrel.
Feel the needle. The needle.
You have a grape thrown at your head.
Alton gives a big thumbs up to Scale across the way. Also puts a hand across to, like, show me the grapes. I didn't realize it was grapes.
Now, I would not expect better from Alton, but Scale, please. We are guests on this man's ship.
Now, if Jarlaxle throws a grape at us, that would be funny.
I would have imagined that.
Something tells me he's more used to throwing a banana.
I was just about to do that, actually, but not now. Yeah, I think he's just looking amused. He's sort of laying back in his big comfy chair with his legs crossed, just sort of with his elbow on one of his knees, just sort of looking amused at the conversations that you're having.
I think Alton will be concentrated. I was just going to say Alton will be concentrated on the table and the food, essentially. But Quill will come up at some stage and just sort of look towards Jarlaxle and just give it. Thank you very much.
Quite all right.
Back into the beard.
Sorry, I have to run and move my car real quick.
Oh yeah.
All right, no, that's fine. Don't worry. Yeah.
Do we all have nice shares, but he has a really nice share?
Yes, everyone's got very nice sort of. It's proper seating for a banquet table. So it's like a straight-backed, very finely made dark wood with dark ruby red cushions that are upholstered into the chair that everyone else has. His is of the same style, but it's just much bigger and grander and just a bit. Yeah,
Of course.
like I'm the head of the table. And
Yeah.
nothing shall deny that I am at the head of the table.
I imagine we probably haven't seen a spread such as this. Like the bowls and the nobility essentially is probably of a high end.
And the other thing that you all, maybe you don't notice, but certainly as players you'd notice if this was a TV or a film, is that somehow he's just managed to put, maybe not your favourite dish, but there is definitely things in everybody's vein of want. And so I mean, for Alton, there are lots of sweet things. There is jam, there is marmalade, there's like a lovely baked I think is like a very, very, very thin crust pastry, cranberry flan with hard sort of sugar. Like if you almost get like creme, caramelized. Yeah. Sorry, words are not doing for me.
That's all good. I can see it in my head, and I'm hungry now. Carry on.
And there's a sort of a big wedge being cut out of it, and the serving things there.
I leave the wedge. I take the cake.
Yeah, that's fine. Mara, what sort of things? Again, it doesn't necessarily be like Mara's favourite food, but somehow he knows the sort of flavours and things that they would like.
So far, usually what Mara has ordered, like after a long day or whatever, it's been something that they would cook back home. It would be shepherd's pie or whatever. Like, homespun peasant style foods, sort of.
So let's say there's a nice big shepherd's pie, and there's also a bowl of like pork and beef meatballs and a rich tomato sauce or something like that there, and lots of vegetables and things. Scale, I was kind of thinking you
raw fish.
Say that. Yeah. Well, I was
sushi.
Thinking sushi. I was thinking sushi rolls actually.
I think like sushi would probably be.
But also like the spicy side with lots of some sort of wasabi type thing as well.
Oh yeah, I think it's like sashimi, sushi, and then like I think if he's going real fancy, some fugu blow.
And let's not go mental, because I'm saying it's not favorite things. He's just managed to put on things.
Yeah, I think some sashimi, some wasabi on the side. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
What's he eating?
He is eating
human skin.
No.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
To be eating a very, very rich velouté. So it's a very thick and luxurious soup, but it's just there's no how do I describe it? It's very thick and creamy, but there's no texture in it. And he's taking some very lovely big looking prawns and dipping it through it as well. And so he's getting a prawn on his spoon and putting it into the velouté and eating it.
Here's a question. Alton reaches for his glass or drink or cup or whatever. What's in there?
I think for Alton, I think they would actually have. Let me see.
Honey water?
That's kind of what I was thinking, actually. Yeah, some sort of cordial based around honey or something.
Okay, so
whether Alton likes it or not, but it's like the best guess because he's got a sweet tooth.
This is actually, I think he's shown his hand. I rolled an 18 intelligence check that I just. Actually, no, I rolled higher than that. That I just to see if he would pick up on it or not. It's actually it's 26. He will sort of look to Gerald Axel, after this especially, because everyone always makes the mistake of giving him alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and he sort of looks at him curiously. How long have you been watching us?
I watch everybody, not constantly, but I get updates. I was saying to your friend Cyric that I especially keep an eye on adventuring parties because I never know where our paths are going to be crossing for the good or the ill. If the good, then we have a situation like we have ourselves. We try and reach an accord and help one another. And if it was differently and we were against one another, then I would like to know your weaknesses, if there were any, how to go about either moving you off a path of confrontation or defeating you.
Alton starts juggling a couple of grapes in one hand.
But this is the benefit, that I can provide something that is delightful for each of you. And with that, you see, we've got one last thing, and this is where Cyric is presented, and you see probably what looks revolting to the rest of you. It's obviously a sort of
Beautiful,
sort of medium-sized mammal, slightly slimy, very vinegary taste coming off it, and a little bit of sort of gelatin and stuff thing, and it's just it on a white plate presented to Cyric.
No.
Alton gags.
No.
I think Scale just like shifts her food away.
Yeah. I think Mara has the look of like, what is that? Because like it looks like a rat or something, right? Slicked in vinegar. I
think we went more. It's like more like a guinea pig, but it's pickled.
Okay,
but
yeah.
It's also got some sort of, you know what aspect is, the sort of gelatin inside of a pork rind.
Yeah.
There's a sort of bit like that as well.
So like a creature just gave birth to this creature, and now it's on Cyric's plate.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just, I imagine it just sort of slides on and almost slides off the plate.
Well, it's wibble wobble jelly on a plate.
Like, in Mara's
I'm enjoying
mind,
this,
she
Emerald.
sees it move. Struggle for air, life.
Alton shields Quill's eyes.
Yeah. But we've all been served then in our own plates, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mara will look kind of curious at Scale's food. What is that? Rice with fish on it.
Well, no, it's fish with rice on it.
Yeah. As she avoids the look of Cyric's food. Is it nice?
Well, do you like fish?
Yeah.
Do you like rice?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Wonderful.
Alton will minor illusion a curtain just in front of Cyric's plate.
Cyric gets the exclusive food situation.
Inspiration if you don't have it. That's the best use of minor illusion.
Keep that to yourself.
Or do you want?
It's like a
some-
dungeon master screen round Cyric's plate. So.
Exactly. It's sort of it appears and then the curtain just comes down.
Are there like snakes embroidered on the curtains?
No, this is just whatever the last theater he saw. It's just that. Get it done.
Thank you, Alton.
What's wrong, Alton?
You know what's going to happen now.
A great many things, I feel.
Nah, it's not. This, friend, this is the best. And sorry. Thank you for the curtain. And then he lowers his head down.
Oh no!
You can hear the slimy and slippery.
Alton just pushes the flan.
It's got full predator sort of.
You one ugly motherfucker.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
We can swallow it.
Um,
Thank you, Jarlaxo, for this wonderful food.
It's quite all right, and I think I think I'll go around as like you find that the what look like burly sort of shipmates are actually also very good sort of waiters, and I think as soon as you sort of drink, your drinks are all topped up. So I mean, basically at this moment, I want to ask: will people keep drinking and get a bit tipsy, because that is very easy to do so? Yeah, scale. Yeah.
It's high priced alcohol on the ocean.
It's super high quality.
How often do I get this?
Alton probably just gets a little bit of like, you know, when children just eat that extra sweet that was unnecessary. So he's a little bit like wired and maybe misbehaving slightly.
And a slightly sore stomach starting sort of thing as well. There's that tiny wee knot of pain.
He just went too far. Just too far. But he's got his wits.
Mara will keep her wits about her. She'll drink very modestly.
That's fine. Cyric?
I don't know what he has been served, so
it's mostly wine and that's been put on the table. I don't think Cyric's been given anything specific to him because
no.
You guys mentioned wine before.
Mm-hmm.
That he drank some wine before? Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Yes, he drank wine while he was waiting for the group. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But it's just continued, but it's very, very high quality wine.
Oh, he enjoys. He quite enjoys this, so he feels good about himself, so
that's fine. This is more, I'm not going to get you to roll, it's not about anything like that. It's just to know that as characters out of game, Jaraxel is definitely doing this deliberately to try and not manipulately, but open the parameters, muddle your mind a bit, maybe make you more open to anything he may or may not suggest, that sort of thing. Break down inhibitions, shall we say. And so this goes on, and unless anyone has any particular conversation that they want to have, we can just say there is convivial conversation. A lot of it continues to be Jarlaxle and his self-aggrandizing stories that are mostly true, but if you insight him, there's usually a little bit of extra flair added to it, but actually broadly are the truth.
Truth that tells the broader lie.
Yes, absolutely. And this continues quite late on into the evening, so people can get pretty merry if that's the way. Until he goes, well, I suppose I have kept you all long enough. My scribe has signed the document. Or prepared the documents, I should say. And he sort of gestures in, and they bring it in, and one of those wee sort of desk bureau, it's like a rectangle with a angled face, the document on it, and he goes, I shall sign them. Signs them and passes them. I've just put your party name, so only one of you needs sign to bind it, but we've listed your name, so whoever wishes to sign may sign.
I'll do it. Mara, give a read through the document before signing it.
I'm one level away from being immune to poisons. This is the last level I can get.
That's fair enough.
Does
the same
alcohol,
as sorry, there you go.
Does alcohol count as poison?
Well, we'll say yes, but I think I would always say one of these things is if you want to get drunk, I would just say a character will allow itself to become drunk. I wouldn't be so much that you're immune drunk, but you can avoid becoming drunk if you wish to. I think I'll put it that way.
You can flex the alcohol out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you allow yourself to become drunk, you're drunk, but you can stop yourself becoming drunk.
Yeah.
So it's not like you
that'd
can
be
force
fun.
it out your system. Anyway, I think Mara, similar to what Cyric had, is there's no fancy sort of it's not like a Faustian contract where it's all double speech or anything. It's very plain, and what each side is meant to do, and it's exactly as was negotiated.
Yeah. It's just she would always read the contract before signing it.
Oh, of course she would. And you take 5 or 10 minutes to read it, reread it, just to make sure. Because it's not short. I'm not trying to say it's just like I'll help you and you'll help me. It is a proper contract.
Yeah.
But they're all normal clauses.
Yeah. Yeah. So she signs it,
and he does the same. Drips his ink.
Yep. He signs it.
Gives you a copy. Gives his copy away to be taken away to remember.
She signs it. Alantar. And
who is this Mickey Mouse?
What's your last name? I don't know.
And I think it's now approaching midnight or something, and it's like, I think I've kept you long enough. I shall get you back to your boat. I'm going to retire back to my steam room, and this time he definitely looks more particularly at Mara and Scale, but it is to everybody, and just says, unless anyone would like to join me.
Damn.
And the lascivious look is back in his eye once again.
Yeah.
I think Scale is like at the level of drunk to where she's like half shark. Like her teeth are sharpened and her eyes are like clear eyelids.
That's probably only intriguing him more.
I love the fact she gets pissed and she turns into
She was half shark.
Yeah.
She was left shark.
This does not seem to put Jarlaxle off.
If anything, that's a story.
If anything, it makes him slightly more intrigued.
Yeah, he's just kind of like but I also think like I think she's the functional drunk to where like she can get home while drunk no matter how drunk she is, she can get back to her boat, and that is the key.
Yeah.
He's not pushing it. He's not like it's to the two of you, especially Mara, who's not drunk. It's very clear what he's meaning, but he's not pushing it or anything. It's just we're adults. That's what's there. But
I think by the time he has said this, it's been like a half hour of Alton being super bored, being at the adult party.
Yeah.
Like he's just
goes boop and goes back to the strong petrol.
He's just making random minor illusions around the place.
Smoke monsters with his punch.
Smoke monsters.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah,
I need to feed my boy.
Yeah. Sadly, I have no great need for steam currently. So we'll head back to the boat. Instead of steam rooms tomorrow.
I don't know why I find that. I know it's like there's nothing wrong, but for some reason I find that
it's just a strange sentence to hear.
It's like,
I know.
No, I have no need for steam right now.
I'm all good for steam, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Epic Store is better.
Oh no.
Well, that is fine. I thought I would just express the invite that your colleague Cyric has already had. Very good for the pores.
I think Alton will just sort of look to Jarlaxle as we till next time. Boomf.
Yeah.
Mention doors out.
I was just about to say we donate money to the poor, so I don't know what they have to do with steam. No. We shall go back to the ship. It's fine. You enjoy your steam room.
Well, the last thing really to go before you go in that case is when shall we meet?
From my understanding, the ship will come here.
I'll bring you over to the world map.
Yay! Welcome to the sunny vacation spot that is Luskan.
Luskan, a bustling town in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Probably
where the pointer is where I've decided that these rocks that you're meeting him in are
the giant's knob.
No, it's not the giant's knob.
I don't know why that stuck in my head. But
It's the giant's pinnacle.
that's the thing. Thank you.
So that's where I've put the giant's pinnacle. I'll just so that's great. It's another like day and a half to get to Luskan, and he's told you that the actual is about there. It's just to the north of Luskan, this thing, and it's out on a promontory, and he says, I do have a little bit of business that I need to go back to Neverwinter for a couple of days, so I could say that we meet just offshore of Luskan in a week. How would that suit?
Yeah, I think that will suit us well. We will travel to Luskan.
Just if we rendezvous our boats outside so that they are away from the main trade lanes, so none of the pirates shall come and bother us. And you can embark aboard the Scarlet Marpinoff, and we shall make our way.
Yeah, that sounds satisfactory to me. She'll look to Scale and go, I'm sure that'll work for her when she's sober. Yes. Don't worry, Scale. We'll
I'm gonna go home.
I know, honey. It's fine. We'll go home. The
Drunken shark do.
Oh shit.
Can I ask what she's been drinking all night?
Wine.
Oh. Any particular kind or brand or something?
No, not brand. Just a very good dark red wine.
Okay.
The red one.
The red one. Okay. We'll see if we can find more of that in Luskan.
It was like blood.
No. No. Don't. No. Well, you can have. No. Okay. We shall go. Thank you for your hospitality, John.
Functional, by the way.
Yeah.
I
I can get myself on.
That just screams functional drunk.
She comes up the next morning.
Start biting the railings and stuff just because that's what sharks do.
She jumps into the water.
I know she doesn't jump. She hits the railing and just tumbles up.
Yeah. Next morning, she wakes up with like a ring on her finger, and she got married somewhere underwater.
She Captain Jack Sparrow's over the railing and just goes.
So those of you that don't swim or or magic your way back to the boat, you're once again rowed back. And again, unless anyone wants to do anything in particular, I take it, Scale, in that state, you would just leave the ship anchored there for the night because you know it's quite a safe anchorage. Yeah. Okay. So you all go to sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, the eye catcher has gone. It's set sail and sailed on its way. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So, Saviours, what is your plans for the next 5 days?
We've got 5 days.
We'll go to Luskan first of all.
This is more because I don't have the next section totally prepared in Roll20, so I don't want to skip too far ahead.
I think while they're here, and it's only like a day and a half to Luskan, I think Scale will want to investigate the Giant's Pit.
Fair enough. Not a problem at all.
Because we got a big rock.
It's
not often to come out here.
I had never rolled for this while we were there, but I actually had meant to. It just kind of slipped by us.
Yeah, slipped by me.
I just wanted to nick the cutlery
Slight handshake.
This is how you get a great reputation.
Pretty good. 1 sec. Sleight of hand. What is? Okay. Oh, that's good. 25.
Let me just find his.
Damn. His stats.
He rolled 16 on the dice.
So
Massively powerful. Saying, I think.
His perception is +8, so that is a 24. What did you get again? Sorry.
The cutlery.
No, the what was your roll again? Sorry.
25.
Yeah, you only got a 24, so you successfully.
At some
I
stage,
think
when
obviously you
scales
can't have shitloads of them because he would notice that, but certainly a couple of sets or something.
At some stage, I imagine, like Scales probably, while she's doing this research and into the Giant's Pinnacle, I probably will enter her captain's quarters essentially, in one of the napkins and unfurl it. And this fee. Pushes it towards her and walks out.
Roll 1d8.
Sure. 8.
Cool. Alton presents you with a napkin with 8 pieces of cutlery. Most of them are what you had at dinner last night. They're large, fancy knives and forks, and you think they're probably worth about 50 gold each. So he's just basically given you solid silver cutlery worth 400 gold.
damn.
Good job, Alton. I think she like looks around her desk, is just like
Here's a balloon.
just like
What's
knife.
Yeah.
No, just like looking for something to give in return. Just like
yeah.
you have a knife.
What is it?
I got it from a shipwreck.
I think it's like a dagger.
Yeah, it's like a rusty. It's like a rusty kind of sort of probably a maybe like old rusty military dagger.
Yeah, he will spin it. Like he'll do that, and he'll spin it up on its hilt as it spins, and he'll go. Any poison?
Not on me.
Okay. I have to check my backpack. I'll talk to you later. And he just goes out. He scurries up onto the crow's nest. Go through his stuff.
Mara will give Scale half of the gold in advance that she was going to get. So she gets 500 gold and, says, it's going to be interesting to go to Luskan. Do you have any acquaintances there? Anything we should know?
Don't trust anybody you talk to.
I'm told.
Keep an eye on your money.
I love it.
This is what Mara's told the rest of the group as well.
As you may have heard, it is it's owned by pirates. Don't offend anybody. Don't be a cleric.
Wow.
Don't be a cleric.
That last one is going to be difficult.
Don't make people think you're a cleric.
Yes, that's why I've bought
because
another
you're worth money.
Oh, I know.
Squid.
We've
Yeah.
I have a mystery crimson potion. And it's pulsing.
Where did you get that again?
This
Long
was
time ago.
sometime. I think this was taken from one of the Drow Magisters. I remember you made a point of telling me it was pulsing. And that's all I could get from it. I've been with it a minute now, though, so I wonder.
All right,
That an
okay.
ag hole?
This is,
this is-
a potion of vitality. So when you drink this potion, it removes any exhaustion that you're suffering and cures any disease or poison affecting you. And for the next 24 hours, you regain the maximum number of hit points for any hit dice you spend. So basically, a short rest, you don't roll hit dice, you just get maximum.
Wow. Okay. What? I need to name it.
Potion of vitality.
So, but Scale, you don't have any allies or friends that we might...
No, I run a small, tight-knit thing. I didn't join any pirate cadres or anything.
No. I was just wondering.
I mean, the most I would have is we would recognize each other's faces. So, better than a stranger, but not enough to be an acquaintance.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Thank you anyway.
I mean, it at least won't look weird if I'm with you all.
Yeah, that's
A
good.
bit of credibility there, and I think Waif and Stray know a couple of the dock boys, so they'll
blend in.
They'll know we're here before we show our faces anywhere.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. Thanks. I think the rest. I told the rest of the boys about Luskin a while back, but we may need to remind them again the dangers of Luskin.
Alton is currently walking on the side of the boat, balancing. And he is a little annoyed because he didn't find any any poisons. I think he'll talk to Waif and Stray.
Okay.
And he will ask
Jabber, I will let you answer on behalf of Waif and Stray.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, boys, I've got a job for you.
Yeah.
I need the strongest poison in Luskin.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go to hey, you got connections to younger?
What?
You know, it's young guy going to the dock and got people done.
I've never been to there before. You have,
you're gonna wanna go to the third tavern with the sign, and then they got some people in there that don't get you.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you met a person like that, Jabber, or?
Well, they have never been to school. They've never been taught words. They
So they slur?
They've been to so many different countries. Their accent is such a mess. They listen to drunken people at the bars, so they haven't had the best education.
Yeah, I think Alton will be like, right, okay, well, thank you.
Here's 100 gold.
Fish. There's poison fish.
He gives them 100 gold.
I think they just they both like hold it in between like their hands and are just like staring at it and then staring up at Elton.
Thank
and
you.
then I think they just scurry off and probably put it in like I imagine they have like a floorboard that they put their money in.
At the bottom of the boat, so it sort of drifts under the sea.
No, in between the levels, or like in the wall or something. They've probably got like a little hole that they put their stuff in, or an empty barrel behind a bunch of other barrels with one plank missing in the barrel where they just store all the.
Alton will look off at the sea as if
That did not help.
Right.
Yeah, they're not poison people. I don't know. I know they don't.
We are getting close to the end, so what I would like Scale to do is, if you're going to go and... have you spoken to the party? Did you speak to the party and say, if we've got days, can we stay another half day or a day, because I would like to explore this pinnacle?
We've got a bit of time.
Although there's nothing here as far as you know. It is a large rocky outcrop, and I don't know if anyone's aware of the Isle of Rockall in the Atlantic. There is a big mass of stone that's constantly above the thing, so there might be stuff up there. Not be easy to get on though. That might be easier for you.
Yeah. Since we've got 5 days and it's only a day and a half to get to Luskin, we're gonna be here a bit longer if you want to do a bit of exploring. I'm gonna check out what's on that rock.
Are there any poisons that grow there?
Poisons. There might be some poisonous insect. So the thing with poisons is you need like a whole setup to make poisons, even if you have the ingredients.
Roll a nature check, Scale.
It's a giant poison stone.
Because I know Alton milked the wolf spider before, so...
11.
Well, let's see.
It is correct terminology.
You know it'd be incredibly difficult, but if Alton is very lucky with fishing, he may be able to find an incredibly poisonous octopus which actually inhabits these waters. But the likelihood of catching one is very hard.
Right. Around here, do you know what an octopus is? Do you know what a squid is? Oh, okay, right, we fought one. You know the big tentacle thing underwater?
I feel like I'm fighting one every week.
Imagine a much smaller version of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, if you find one, you might get very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Alton,
They are poisonous.
What are you going to do with the poisons, Alton?
Poison stuff.
Alton?
To poison stuff.
What stuff?
Enemies.
Okay.
Whatever I see fit.
No, Alton. No. We don't just poison.
Well, if
of course.
you need help with poisons, I can help.
If he poisons something, you're
You've got a snake man. Why are you asking me about poison?
I'm not really talking to him at the moment.
Well, I think he will know more than me. But, yeah.
Are you venomous?
We'll be here for at least the rest of today. So,
yeah.
Do what you need to do. I'm going to be up on that rock.
How do you fish?
Wave can teach you.
Oh, please, no. It's going to cost me so much. Time. I only have so much time.
No, he'll just tell him to talk fancy.
Okay. Wave?
No.
Okay, I need to catch a poisonous octopus.
No.
Scale said you were the one to teach me how to do it and to talk fancy. Talk fancy.
Making me talk.
Aha. Okay, now we're getting
I don't like it when she makes me talk like this.
I much prefer it.
Nah, because I'd have to think about what I'm saying.
I think this is the first time Mara even hears them speak, as she's standing behind Alton, like...
She taught us to talk like this when we are meeting with merchants, so it looks like we're legitimate.
Perfect. That sounds fascinating. Is the poisonous octopus in this sea, is that near the pinnacle, or is that just...
It will probably be in some crevices near the rocks.
Can you show me?
He points to the rocks and some crevices.
What, do I just pick it up and something?
No, you need to take this line, put some shellfish or small fish on it.
You have some?
Kind of dangle it down, and you gotta fish those up.
Oh. Where would I find those?
In the water. Can't you talk to fish?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Go talk to the octopus then.
I need your poison.
Okay. Are we ashore, essentially? Is that what's happening?
No, you're on the boat at the moment.
We're on the boat out, but we're like within 100 meters of the shore?
Yeah, I'd say 100 meters, because it's if you get any closer, because it's rocky, the waves could become a problem.
I guess when we get there, we'll try and get some action going.
Cool. I think that is kind of where we're going to finish, but beforehand, what I would like Scale to do is roll me a D100.
I've added too much depth to these NPC characters.
I was just about to ask something else. If Mara could ask Gale if she could borrow the boys for a little while. She's going to teach them to speak better.
They can talk fine.
They can talk fancy, but they need to talk better if they're going to talk to merchants and impress them.
No, they're not there to impress merchants. They're there to not sound like pirates.
Is only getting bigger.
Because they said talk to merchants.
76.
Okay.
You can do what you want next Mara. I don't.
Okay.
Just
no,
whatever.
Then I won't bother.
I don't have them be the face of the vessel. It's more of if we pass by a merchant ship, we can sound like we're just fishermen and not a bunch of pirates.
Okay, never mind. Scale. I should leave your Wave and Scale to their work.
Leave my
They work
boys
very
alone.
hard for their money. So hard for it, honey. What does
She works mad for her money. Does anyone go with Scale onto the island, or is
because I'm looking for
the
octopuses.
Well, if you're fishing for the octopuses, you've been told that you're best to fish from them from the side of the boat because you're over the perfect terrain.
Cool.
So that's something what he'll teach you to do is to put a wee bit of like mackerel feathers down, get some bit with tiny hooks to get wee small because these.
I think Alton will ask him to put that bait on. He'd be quite squeamish with it.
But what they've told you is that these octopus are only sort of about 20 centimeters, so they're quite small things, but they're incredibly dangerous if you catch one and you're not to be bitten by them.
It's like the one in Octopussy.
Yeah, exactly.
The blue ring octopus, right?
Just to give you a thing, this is a real thing in our real world, and the toxin that they have is 1,200 times more toxic than cyanide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, I'm telling you up front, we'll resolve it next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to catch one, but if you do, you are going to get some exceptionally strong poison out of it.
Yes. I want my rusty dagger to be a ridiculous Hail Mary. That is the play here. Yeah.
I will probably not tell you the exact parameters
That's
of the poison
perfect.
until it is used.
Dude, you know me.
Rest assured, if you get this and make the right rolls, there is going to be some particularly mental poison up the go.
Fucking purple worm venom.
Yes.
So, I think today's session concludes with Scale and whoever is accompanying her.
How much of an island is it?
I mean, it's a big lump of rock. Yeah, it's not.
Mara will guide Garvin on
a few hundred meters.
Yeah, Mara will guide Garvin on to solid land so that he may rest from the nightmare of the boat.
That's fair enough. So maybe just rest where you get on the boat, but not actually sort of trek around the island.
Yeah,
That's not a problem at all. So I think today's session comes to an end just as Mara, Garvin, and Scale are just sort of setting off from the back.
Cyric came with us.
Yeah.
Oh, Cyric as well. Sorry. Towards as Alton and Leif and Stray are fishing off the side of the boat. I think, is it fair to say Alton's maybe given them a finder's fee? Like, if you catch one of these, I'll give you X. So they're maybe like...
He doesn't think in that way.
Oh, he doesn't. That's
but
fine.
They could literally say, give us gold, and he probably would. You know? people
we'll
here tend to like gold,
week.
So
yeah,
sometimes he gives them
that
gold.
next week. Yes.
Right. We will wrap this up.
I'm changing back to the stat view. Prepare for scuffage, because the thing scuffage. Yeah. It's on brand.
Starting with subs, we had a Good Morning Branch sub to us yesterday. I believe, Squid, you said that was a friend of yours.
Yes, indeed.
And then for follows, we had U-Trio last week. That's a friend of mine. We had Cranky LZ. Don't know who they are. And we had Misfits and Monsters, which is the fellow streamer? Fellow D&D streamer?
Podcasters.
Person.
They've got a Twitch stream 8 p.m. BST on Tuesdays.
Yes. So if you want to check them out, I'm probably gonna try to be awake.
I've not watched them yet, but it says Punk D&D, and
it sounds kind of fun.
Their logo's very sort of punk based. It looks quite cool.
So that was what happened this week. Thank you everybody in chat for like Dan as always, and I believe it was Pinkosaurus.
Yeah.
So thank you both for being active in the chat as always, and coming up in the future, we may finally be doing a podcast or at least a limited release to start off with to see how it goes. We'll be doing, I think Call of Cthulhu was the plan. We'll do that for podcast, and then we'll have that out, see how that runs. If we enjoy podcasting, we'll probably do more of it.
It's a different way of doing things for sure. So we'll see how we get on.
Replace this. It would be in addition to.
Yes. And then follow us. Find us again next week. And then I believe the week after, 2 of us will be missing. So we will either cancel the session or find something else. The people here might find something else to do. But
yes. That's like keep an eyes on Twitter kind of thing.
Yes, you can find all of our Twitter and stuff below. You can find these videos coming up on YouTube later in the week. And unless anybody has anything else they wanted to mention.
Didn't we get something new recently that you guys talked about beforehand?
We were going to do the community Discord.
Yes.
Which I shall tweet out shortly after we've finished.
Yes, we set that up.
We have a Discord.
So we will tweet that out, invite people in, have friends. And then... I think that's everything. I don't want to go too long, because I often forget every single week of what I do. And
thanks for all the follows, guys. It's been a week. We will see you next week, as usual, same time. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.